Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I bid to Ustaz Umar Zulkifli, which is our lecturer for MPU3192, Falsafah Isu dan Semasa. So, my name is Imran Hariri Milakman. I am the representative for our group, which is Maya Rangers Group 14, present about our topic, which is empowering voters, deeply related to the civic awareness among Malaysian right now. So, before we dive into what is our case study about, I'm going to explain to you more about the table of content so that you will be more prepared about what is we explaining to you after this. So, first of all, we have introduction and then research method, and then we have three different findings, and lastly, we got summary for this case study. So, to begin with, I'm going to explain to you about the introduction for this case study. So, in this introduction, we will explain to you about the democracy and voting, the challenges in this case study, and of course, the objectives for our case study. So, first of all, what is democracy and voting in Malaysia in general? So, democracy and voting in Malaysia, it follows a parliamentary democracy. Therefore, informed voting is really crucial. That is why we choose electoral process because uh, in order to have a good nation, electoral process need to be in a good shape. Then we have challenges. In challenges, we highlighted four challenges that we think is really crucial in our case study. The first challenges is misinformation, which is defined as a large-scale media manipulation. And this definition is given by Oxford Internet Institute 2020. And then the second challenges is political apathy, uh, which means a low engagement, especially among youth, either by government or the citizen itself. And then limited voter education, which defined as a lack of awareness about the electoral process, which affected by the civic a level of civic education in Malaysia. And then lastly, we got Undi 18 impact. Undi 18 is defined as expanded youth electorate, but unfortunately, this Undi 18 system is many are not informed about this system, thus affecting the electoral process in Malaysia. Lastly, we got objectives. So for the objective, our objective is to strengthen the civic awareness and voter education in order to protect the democracy in Malaysia. Then we move on to the research method, which defined as the tool that we have used in order for us to gain information and collect data to conclude our case study. So the method that we use is a quantitative survey, or more specifically, is a Google form survey. So how do we conduct this survey? So at first, we created a Google form with various questions according to our topic, which is empowering voters among the general public. And our target audience is the general public, which is normal citizens, students, lecturer, basically everyone. So then we share the Google Form link through media social online platform like WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and etc. in order for us to gain the required minimum respondent, which is 100 in a short period of time. All right. So the question included in this survey are voter knowledge according to student educational level, which basically means the level of civic awareness among Malaysian. And then we have political interest among the public. This question is given in order to examine either they are interested in electoral system or the democracy system in Malaysia. And then we have the activities that they have involved in terms of political. And lastly, we got factors that influence the level of civic awareness in Malaysia among public. And this question is given in order for us to conclude what influencing the level of civic awareness. among the youth, among the public in Malaysia. All right. So next, we move on to our first findings and discussion, which is about the level of civic awareness among the general public in Malaysia. So, first of all, we're going to talk about the level of civic awareness. So, the level of civic consciousness among Malaysia has significantly decreased in recent years. Civic awareness is defined as citizens' understanding and active participation in their community, including knowledge of their rights and responsibilities, a sense of patriotism, and a willingness to contribute towards the betterment of Malaysia. Thus, it is crucial to examine the level of civic awareness among the general public in Malaysia to get more insight on how to strengthen the civic awareness in Malaysia's election process. So, in this level of civic awareness, we have highlighted three different things that is deeply related to the level of civic awareness, which is first of all, of course, the level of civic awareness among Malaysian in general. The second one is familiarity towards their rights and responsibilities as a citizen of Malaysia. And lastly is factors that influencing the level of civic awareness among Malaysia. All right. So from the graph observed, in the question of from the scale 1 to 5, how do you evaluate your civic education knowledge level? We can observe that majority of the respondent has marked themselves as having a moderate level of civic awareness. So, this analysis shows that while most respondents have a moderate understanding of civic education, a notable portion has limited knowledge about it. So, this highlights the need for more civic education initiatives to enhance the civic awareness and understanding on how important civic education is nowadays to promote a proper civilization in Malaysia. All right. So, next, we move on to the civic familiarity, which, as civic education emphasizes the concept that focuses on the methods or approaches needed to teach, expose, and provide a strong understanding about the citizens' rights and responsibilities to their country. The respondents for the survey were also asked to indicate their familiarity towards their rights and responsibilities as a citizen of Malaysia. And from the graph given, we can observe that majority of respondents, which is 52 out of 100 respondents, are familiar with their rights and responsibilities as a citizens of Malaysia. And majority of them are familiar with their rights and responsibilities, meaning that they know the basics but are not fully aware of all their rights and responsibilities. Meanwhile, 32% of the respondents are very familiar with the rights and responsibilities as a citizen in Malaysia. And just about 3% of the respondent, which is just a few amount of respondent, are unfamiliar with their rights and responsibilities in Malaysia. Lastly, we have the factors that influencing the level of civic awareness among general public in Malaysia. There have been concerns about the lack of civic knowledge and understanding regarding the process of democracy in our country among voters, especially for the youth generation. So, there are a few significant factors that might influence the level of civic awareness among Malaysians, which are education system, media exposure, government efforts, social environment, and especially parental guidance. In our survey, respondents are required to identify all the primary factors that influence the level of public civic awareness in general public. From the graph given, we can observe that education system and media exposures is greatly influencing the level of civic awareness among Malaysians. Thus, from the result, it is obvious that education system is indeed important to ensure an active participation and active community engagement for the election process as civic education is an important role in nurturing civic knowledge among citizens. Thus, main issues that might be the cause for the lack of civic education, such as limited access to information and even lack of trust in the government and political institutions, should be eradicated to make sure that all citizens in Malaysia are well civilized and be more engaged in democracy process.
Hello everyone, my name is Kennedy Kinestik. I am the second presenter from Group 14, or also known as the Maya Ranges. Now, Let us move on to the next findings and discussion, which discusses why the public ignores their voting rights and responsibilities. The first reason the public is ignoring their voting responsibilities is because of the hassle voters must endure in order to obtain correct, accurate, and valid information about the competing political parties during general elections. As can be seen from the chart here, the majority of our survey respondents claim that they lack the information to choose the best people's representative for themselves during general elections. Now, we believe this lack of confidence in the depth of political knowledge among the general public made voting seem daunting and unimportant. This can be discouraging for people to exercise their civic responsibilities. Secondly, we believe that the level of civic education affects democratic participation among the general public. Based on the finding of our research, we found out that civic education helps boost political engagement by encouraging citizens to partake in activities such as voting, political discussions, and even other uh, community activities. As can be seen from the chart here, most of our survey respondents rate themselves a 3 over 5 in their own political knowledge, which we consider the minimum level of knowledge for an individual to make rational judgment in choosing their people representative during general elections or even to carry out their civic responsibilities in general. Lastly, voters' degree of interest in political matters also explains why the public chooses not to exercise their voting rights and responsibilities during the elections. This is because we believe that individuals who are apathetic about political matters are more likely to dismiss their voting rights during elections. Based on the pie chart here, a significant number of our respondents claim that they are not interested in politics. Given the number of respondents who are enthusiastic about politics are less than half of the total number of our respondents from our survey, which is 100. Now, let us proceed with the last findings and discussion of our group project. This part suggests initiatives to strengthen public civic awareness. The first method suggests ways to make voting more accessible and encourage greater voting participation. As can be seen from the bar chart here, out of the four suggestions, our survey respondents believe that disseminating information on voting procedures online is the most effective initiative to boost the voting turnout rate. This is because online platforms such as social media like WhatsApp, Instagram, or Facebook have the most tremendous reach for spreading information beyond voting procedures, such as the current political situations, the current political activities, news, and more. This can greatly inspire more people to partake in voting. The second method discusses ways to educate the public about their voting rights. According to our findings, the majority of our respondents agree that the utilization of short, informative videos that explain information on voting and voting procedure is the best solution to educate people on their voting responsibilities. This is because the short videos can be shared via social media platforms, which serve as the primary social medium in this modern age. We believe the informative videos shared online can surely guide the public to make informed decisions during elections or carry out their civic responsibilities properly and correctly. Last but not least, our project also explores the best method to enhance political awareness as a way to strengthen public civic awareness. Based on the chart here, implementing civic education in schools and universities is the solution of our respondents most voted for out of the five solutions suggested here. It is undeniable that initial educational efforts are best initiated at a young age. Therefore, inserting civic education in schools can really help to foster a deeper understanding and appreciation for civic responsibilities among the general public, especially the younger generations. As a conclusion, the potential research areas that we have identified during the making of our group project include the role of digital literacy in combating misinformation, the effectiveness of voter education campaigns, and how social media influence people's perceptions of politics. Moreover, corrective measures such as enhancing civic education in schools and implementing stricter regulations and fact-checking initiatives should be taken to strengthen civic awareness in our country, Malaysia. Lastly, our study limitations include a small sample size of 100 respondents only, which mainly consists of students, bias and self-reported data, and our reliance on secondary sources instead of real-time data. That is the end of Group 14 group presentation. Thank you.